What is going on, button pushers? Welcome to the channel. My name is David, and today we're talking about the Canon R1 and the Canon R5 Mark II. I am a heavy Canon user. I use the R5, I use the R3, I had the 1DX2, the 1DX3, the 6D, the 6D Mark II, the 70D, the T2i. I've been with Canon since the beginning. Now, I have had other cameras, but I've been with Canon since the beginning. So just know that I am a heavy Canon supporter. However, the R3 came out in 2021, so it's been about 3 years since that camera was released, and I'm actually shooting on it right now. I really love this camera. It's done so much for me. It's done amazing things. So I was so excited for the R1, and I actually heard that the R1 was rumored to come out before the R3 was even released. So I had high hopes about the R1 to begin with, and we didn't get it for another 3 to 4 years after I first heard about it. So it's been a really long time coming since I was planning on getting the R1. And when it was finally announced that it was coming, I was so excited until they released the spec sheets and the videos and what was, new about it, which wasn't much. Don't get me wrong, the R1 is probably an amazing camera. If you're just getting it from upgrading from something else that's not the R3 or the R5 or the R5C, the R1 is an amazing camera, and I'm sure it's going to do what it's intended to do, which is sports and wildlife, which is what the 1DX Mark II and Mark III and the 1DX series in general was meant to do. I feel like in this market, in this day and age, having one camera that can kind of do a lot more, more hybrid stuff, makes more sense, especially from a business point of view, because we have Sony out here doing all these cool things, and I'm not going to switch to Sony. Sony's good. I just don't really like the feel of some Sonys. It's too lightweight for me, kind of. It just doesn't kind of match my stuff, and but amazing cameras, FX6, FX3, FX9, awesome, great cameras. But anyways, sorry, rambling. From both releases of the R5 Mark II and the R1, I actually prefer the R5 Mark II over the R1 because I feel like we're getting more out of the R5 Mark II than we are out of the R5 or the R1. So let me read a few of what is new. The R1 is getting a back illuminated stacked 24.2 megapixel full frame sensor. And I feel like for sports and wildlife, we could definitely go for more megapixels because, we are able to crop in more with more megapixels to get a nice, sharper, and beautiful image. So we don't have to rely too much on, missing a moment. So I feel like it would make a lot of sense to have more megapixels on a sports camera. I'm not a camera tech, but I don't know. That's just something I think. Increased readout speed, reducing rolling shutter distortions, which is always really nice. That is like a top tier upgrade. I really enjoy that. That is awesome. But let's keep going. Still image shooting speeds up to 40 FPS, which is good. But I feel like we get similar on the R3. No? Cross-type AF imaging sensor for more positive focus on subjects with linear detail. So we're getting a new autofocus system. Which they mention a lot. We do get a lot of new autofocus systems. I think that comes with every camera. Every camera we get something new a little bit. Strong video capabilities up to 4K, also 6K raw video options, which we also already have. So pretty much the only real new things that we're going to get is a bit of decrease in rolling shutter, a back illuminated sensor with a new processing system for faster reading speeds, and a new autofocus system. That's pretty much it. Which is really disappointing to me because I feel like in 3 years from the R3, they could have upgraded so many different things or implemented a few things that are more interesting, but they chose not to. Now let's read about the R5 Mark II and what's new there. We're getting a back illuminated stacked 45 megapixel sensor. Great. I love the megapixels, and it's going to be, again, a new processing system for faster reading speeds. Again, we're going to have a new autofocus system with better tracking capabilities and eye autofocus. And this is where I really enjoy the R5 Mark II over the R1. So we're going to get C-Log 2 on here, which is apparently the best C-Log out there. False color, awesome, more video capabilities. 4-channel audio with 24-bit and pre-recording up to 5 seconds. So we're getting a lot more video capabilities out of the R5 Mark II, and hopefully because the R5 is known to overheat when you're shooting at 60. So hopefully it doesn't. If they can make sure that the R5 Mark II doesn't have to deal with overheating issues, I think the R5 Mark II is the better option over the R1. And the R5 Mark II does seem like a reasonable upgrade because the R1 is priced at $6,300. And honestly, for that price, I would still go with a used R3 for like, what, $4,000? But at the same time, the R5 Mark II comes in at around $4,500. So honestly, I would go with the R5 Mark II as an upgrade to my R5 rather than upgrading my R3 right now, because the R1 just doesn't, appeal much. It doesn't seem like there's anything new, anything crazy, anything interesting. It's like upgrading from the RS3 to the RS4 Pro, which I haven't talked about yet because I just haven't had time to make a video, but it isn't much of an upgrade. There's just a few things, except even then, I feel like the RS4 makes more sense than upgrading from the R3 to the R1. I am like an avid Canon user. I'm still going to stick to Canon. I'm not going to upgrade my camera to the R1 though. I may consider the R5 Mark II. Probably not right now. I might even just jumping from the original R5 to the R5 Mark III or something, R5C2. We'll see where it goes. Right? The R5C is a promising camera. I want to see what the Mark II looks like whenever that comes. I'm pretty excited for that because if they have IBIS or something in there, crazy. Perfect. But, yeah, that's all for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the R1, the R5 Mark II. Are you guys going to upgrade, or what are you guys going to do here? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day. Stay awesome, and I'll see you then. Peace.